Welcome to Hustle and Pro. I'm your host, Kelly Walker, and today we are at a really unique, fun venue. We're at the Omni Frisco, and our view is the Ford Center here at the Star. And so there's a reason that we're here, and it's part of why we have our guest on today. So I want to introduce you to Mark Buldorian, and Mark is going to talk to us about something happening here at the Star coming up in December, the U.S. Army Bowl.
Yes,
So
yes.
welcome. Thanks for sitting down with
Kelly,
us.
thank you for having me. I'll tell you what, it's an honor to be sitting here with you. I follow your podcast, and I'm looking forward to this interview. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So I touched base with you to get some information about an article I was working on, and I thought, okay, let's talk this out so our audience can hear. So, of course, we're going to talk about the bowl game that we're talking about, the football game that we're talking about, but I want to know kind of like your role in all this. So, what do you do for this game, and what's your background?
Well, I'm the global football director, so I do everything. I have a finger in every pot, and I have to make sure that everything is set up and running to a point that, when everybody comes in, all they have to do is sit down and have the greatest experience possible.
For the one or the week long of events we're going to talk about, but it's a year round. I mean, you're probably planning this event for months and months, yeah?
I get about a week or 2 weeks off a year.
Right.
That's about it. And then even those weeks you don't really get off. So
yeah, there's always something. What is your background?
My background is my degrees are in child development, child psychology, social science with a focus in education. My master's in special ed.
Okay.
So my background is with the youth. I connect with the kids, and that's where my heart, my soul, and everything I do, that's where it comes from.
So that's your connection to this football game.
Absolutely.
It isn't, so I didn't know that. So I was thinking you were going to be like, yeah, as a football coach all my life or whatever, and like it was from the football and sports side.
Right.
So it's from the youth side.
It is. I was a 20-year coach. I ran leagues and organizations in southern New Jersey, where I'm from. I also worked 5 years at the Pro Football Hall of Fame as the national director for the World Youth Championships.
Wow.
That was a program where we replicated the Little League World Series for youth football. It was 12 regions. Wow. Producing champions from 8 through 13, and then they came to Canton, Ohio, played against international teams for a world championship.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that timed around like induction weeks or some big activities happening for Hall
No,
of
that was
Fame?
actually right towards the Christmas time, towards the end of the year. With induction week up there, it's way too
much.
busy. Yeah.
So more timed with like their student life breaks and things
Correct,
like that.
yes.
Yeah. That's cool. I bet working for the Football Hall of Fame, is that what it's
Yes.
the technical word? I bet that was a really cool experience.
It really, the people up there live with their passion for football.
Oh, yeah.
And they wear it on their chest as much as possible, and they love the game. And that's where my grassroots started with what I do now, is learning that passion comes first, brain comes second.
That makes sense. And they love the passion, but the history of the Hall of Fame is like, that's where it is. So.
Yes.
So speaking of history, so what is the history when we say the U.S. Army Bowl? So this is not some new thing that you guys are popping in here for the first time ever this year in 22. What's the history like? How long has this been around, and who came up with it?
Well, it started in 2000 by a man named Rich McGinnis. And Rich McGinnis was a visionary who saw the ability to produce something that was of such value back in that day. That one-of-a-kind event that enabled to bring the best talent in the country together and to showcase them on a platform that a lot of people didn't know who they were or what they were. And it set the precedence for all the events and all of the different kind of events that are going on now. And that started in 2000. It started actually in Highlander Stadium in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then in 2002 it moved to San Antonio.
Okay, I knew the San Antonio, but I didn't realize there was a Dallas connection.
Yes,
so that's great. Okay.
Yes, it was. And then out of it, 17 of those All-Americans were Heisman candidates, and 450 of those kids played in the NFL.
Wow.
So
that's a nice alumni,
Gosh, yes. The history, the prestige
Yeah.
of this game goes much further than just football and just TV. It's really the grassroots of the football culture.
Yeah.
And it is the pinnacle of all young kids that see these high school athletes as role models for them.
Because this is like truly attainable, high school level to get there is so much more attainable than, as I'm sitting here watching the Dallas Cowboys reel, and I can see Dak's picture up there, and That's a great dream, but that's not an attainable thing for
Right.
young people to really grasp onto. But seeing the high school level guys, like you said, that is something that they are looking forward to, and it's real. Like it's available or attainable.
Yes, absolutely. And those kids who watch that, who pursue that, and even the ones that don't achieve it, achieve something even better. Because in the immortal words of Vince Lombardi, perfection is unattainable, but in the pursuit of perfection, one may find greatness. And a lot of kids find that
That's
not
great.
just on the field, but off the field.
Which many times that's where it matters. That's
Sure.
what actually does matter. Because on the field ends at some point in
Sure.
all of our careers in
Oh,
sports.
you're right.
But it's what you're taking away,
Right.
and then what it's inside, and how you're, moving forward in your life with the things you learned off the field. Were there any? You said, I don't know if you said 640 or 450 alum. Or,
450.
450 of these former All-Americans that went on to play professionally?
Yes.
Or NFL?
NFL,
Okay.
correct. Some of those were Andrew Luck, Adrian Peterson, Odell Beckham Jr.,
Oh, wow.
Eric Berry, Tim Tebow, Joe Thomas, Tyron Smith, Robert Quinn, C.J. Mosley, DeMarcus Murray. That's just a few.
Wow.
That's just a few.
Those are some legit names.
Yes.
I was going to say anybody I know, but that's a huge roster.
Yes.
Those are some marquee names.
Right, and because we only have so much time, that's the only
Yeah.
I could name right now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm sure there's more, especially having 450 that played at the NFL level. I mean,
See,
that's a massive.
to me, it's
that's not saying over 50 years. That's, you said 2000, right? So
Right.
that's a sub 20, because there were probably a few years missed in this and that.
Right.
It's like a 20-year span having
Correct.
450 NFL players.
Correct.
That's
And the
impressive.
attendance shows the prestige of that event. Because unknown, when you start 6,300 people coming to see that, that's a lot. That's a lot of people to put on something that nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And then as it grew to over 40,000 people, I mean, that says it all right there. It really does.
That's huge. Yeah.
And especially in the times we are now, Cal, with COVID, post-COVID and everything else going on, the football culture has really lost a heartbeat. We feel that people are looking for things to be reestablished the way they were and looking to believe in things again. And there's lots of hesitancy from the football culture out there. And we feel that this is an icon moment where the football culture can start to build back up, and we can start to build the country back up off of this game.
And you picked the right place to do that. Because I hear you, and I
yes.
want to be fully or believe that, but I also live in Frisco, Texas, so I also know that there's still a lot of good football culture and heartbeat in this moment in this town. But we are one of the anomalies where that is
Right.
unshakable. I mean, it's
Right.
really hard to live in this town and not feel that.
Oh, you're right.
Because you drive by this campus.
Mm-hmm.
I live 2 miles from here, and so it's it is ingrained. It is the fabric. The fabric of Frisco is kind of one of those catchphrases around here, but sports in general is, but the Cowboys and football and high school football and youth football. I mean, it is still.
It's bigger than anything else.
We'll keep the heartbeat strong here.
Oh, and I know I'm going to get a lot of people cringing at me to say this, but the culture in football in Frisco, in Texas alone, is second to none. It is a whole different animal down here. And beyond even the athletic aspect of it, Frisco itself, and we did Taki's National Signing Day here last year, and we'll be doing that again this year. But it was my first time coming into Texas, and I fell in love. I fell in love with just the people, the community. I'm bringing the whole country to Frisco for one reason.
Yeah.
Because I know that they'll fall in love with Frisco the way I did, and that's why I put
love
it out
that.
there as Frisco first. Because when you get here, you're going to realize there's so much to offer. There's so much out here, community-wise based. It's stores and everything that you too are going to fall in love with this area. And that was a major part for us, to find some place, one, that's up and coming, two, that has everything that we could ask to do, and three, that just will welcome us and everybody come here with open arms. And Frisco first is the way that is being done.
Checks all
Absolutely.
those boxes. We touched on the history of this game. When we come back from our sponsor break, we're going to talk about more details and aspects of what you can expect at this game. And so we will be right back with some more words from Mark Boldorian of the U.S. Army Bowl.
This episode is sponsored by Tumbleweed Textiles. Tumbleweed Textiles t-shirts, hats, tanks, sweatshirts, Collared shirts, plus houseware items, and so much more are authentically Texan. Their unique designs are hand-drawn and inspired by Texas music, history, food, and fun. Find the latest from Tumbleweed Textiles online at shoptwt.com, or better yet, visit the Tumbleweed Textiles flagship store in the heart of the Rail District on Main Street in Frisco, Texas. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back to Hustle and Pro. We're here with U.S. Army Bowls Mark Boldorian, and we were just talking about Frisco and why Frisco and doing my little Frisco Homer bit, but I know that you have a lot planned. This is not just a 2-hour span of a high school football game here, right? So the biggest week of football, right?
Yes.
So tell me why. What does that mean, and what is all encompassed in that?
Wow, thanks for bringing that up, Kel. The biggest week of football in America. The game is the pinnacle part of that, as is National Signing Day, or Taki's National Signing Day. Beyond that, the biggest week of football includes all-star teams from 16 different states of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's 48 teams coming in. We have a 500-kid combine for high school kids, the top 5 and 4-star athletes. The elite of a middle school combine for 500 athletes of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We have the 7-on-7, 50-plus 7-on-7 high school teams coming into play.
Yeah.
We have 50-plus 5-versus-5 flag youth teams coming into play. We have 60-plus cheer squads coming in for a championship as well. All of this happening in the same week. The pinnacle of that week is the Saturday, December 17th, the All-American game. And also that following Wednesday on the 21st is Taki's National Signing Day. We did Taki's National Signing Day here last year. It was a great success. It's hosted by the Dallas Cowboys. It's televised by Bally Sports. And last year on the Stadium channel, I think we had close to like 2 million views.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that's so exciting for these
yes.
high schoolers.
Right.
And some of these names are people that, you know, there's like chatter and people are talking about them. But so hearing all this, I mean, you're talking 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, you're talking high school combine. I mean, that sounds like thousands of, when you talk about cheer too, thousands of youth players that are going to have their moment and be showcased and do their thing with the sports that they love. So if there's somebody who, you know, wants to get involved or knows of a youth player, like how do those kids get involved in being part of that week?
Oh, that's great. You go to our website and you go there and you nominate yourself as an athlete. It will take you to a screening page where you'll put in your information. Our evaluation board, who's the head of our football operations, is Noel Mazzoni, who was the head coach for University of Arizona. He also was the offensive coordinator for the Jets. Him and his board will evaluate each player that comes in.
Okay.
And if chosen, they will be given an official invite. Every kid that is chosen and participates in the biggest week of football will have a VIP access to the game on Saturday, December 17th. We'll also have access to opening ceremonies. We'll also be treated with every bell and whistle that we can put in there for the kid and give them the greatest experience possible.
That's big time. They're going to feel very big time.
It's phenomenal.
I love it.
We've thought of every corner possible. The all-star kids, they'll be here the longest out of everyone. So we're actually going to have a gaming competition for the kids.
Oh, cool.
On one of the days off. If I could bring video games to a kid who's here for a week, I think I might as well just put on the white beard and the Santa Claus jacket too.
We have some resources right around here that you can do that. I mean, this facility, you know, I said that's big time. Like, it's impossible to not feel big time when you're here.
You're right.
Especially if you are a kid that you're getting to do your, you know, do football and like people watch you and be whatever, all the things, even just the combine. Like you're gonna feel big time if you're around some of these facilities. That's so exciting.
You know,
so these are gonna be kids from all over the country. You're not like pulling Frisco kids. Like you're pulling from everywhere.
We're also pulling from South America too. We're doing a football fiesta down in Cancun, where the All-Americans will be helping out with a combine.
Cool.
And so we're bringing 50 kids from there. Plus, there will be a player from Mexico selected to play in the game itself.
Awesome.
So we are overstepping our boundaries as much as we can to incorporate this incredible event on all facets and all levels for every kid possible.
So I know that isn't just happened because, you're working and wearing lots of hats. There's got to be like major players and different sponsors. You mentioned Taki. So who are some of the different partners that you want to make sure you have?
Our sponsors have been phenomenal in our support and the progression of these events as it's gone through for the past year. The U.S. Army obviously is one of our major sponsors. So is Bally's Sports is also a major sponsor. They're televising everything. Everything will be live streamed through the sports channel.
Yeah.
It's hosted, like I said, by the Dallas Cowboys. Taki's is the sponsor for the National Signing Day.
I love the Takis because it's like Taki's high school athlete. Like it's just like it's a great. I think it's such a good fit. Yeah.
And the beautiful part is when Taki's came in last year, they gave me so many Takis.
I'm sure.
And I was able to give a lot back to the cheerleaders who came out to help us out on National Signing Day. And those girls, I think they're probably still smiling. They probably went home with 30, 40 cases of Takis.
Yeah,
so,
like teenagers' dreams.
Oh,
snacks.
absolutely.
Give them snacks.
Absolutely.
They're in heaven. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so to recap, the game itself, while all that stuff is going to be happening with all the youth players and the combines, the game, the marquee thing, right?
Yes.
Saturday, December 17th.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on. So what else outside of the game are being offered to the kids to participate in?
Oh, that's great. Prior to game kickoff, the kids are going to be part of the Taki's tailgate party that we're going to have for them. Each kid also, come Thursday, which is opening ceremonies, the All-Star team, the All-Star division will be doing an NFL testing combine at the Sports Academy.
Oh, cool.
That following day on Friday, all other athletes will be tested in an NFL combine sports there at the Academy as well.
Yeah.
We have allocated 1,000 tickets for the youth in the Frisco area.
Awesome.
That we will give them free access to this game and be part of the biggest week of football that they will never forget.
I love that. I got some youth football fans and football players that I'll definitely be bringing that day.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah,
Kel,
no, I'm excited.
You heard it here first. Kelly's number one
Yes.
in Frisco for me.
I have a middle school boy, so yeah, and he will probably be like front and center, zoned in on everything in there. I will also link in these show notes an article that outlines more about this game and some of the history and things like that as well. So, all right. Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for giving us a little bit more background and rundown of what we can expect.
Truly my pleasure, Kel. Thanks for having me on today.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of Hustle and Pro on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe if you don't already, or if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, be sure to subscribe, and then check out some of our updates on Instagram. You can find us at Hustle and Pro. All right. We will see you next time. Thank you.